Hello out there, everyone. Today I'm going to be reviewing this 1986 release by David Byrne called True Stories. This is the Criterion release, and Criterion did the film justice, as they often do. The movie itself, it's a mixed bag. I think it's absolutely worth a watch. It's very odd, keeping within the framework of what we would expect from David Byrne, from the Talking Heads. He really makes an interesting flick here that is essentially part musical, part variety show, quasi-documentary, social commentary. It's an odd movie. Now, this film was a newly restored 4K digital transfer supervised by none other than David Byrne and his cinematographer Ed Lachman, with a wonderful 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. And it's really, the film defies classification. It's just such a strange movie, but worth a watch for sure. It features none other than John Goodman. He plays an interesting character, and of course Goodman also does his own singing, and it's actually quite good. It also features none other than Spalding Gray and a cast of other odd characters as well. It's just a really eclectic pick, kind of satirizing, but in a loving way, Texas and really American culture circa the mid-'80s. And it's based loosely around what David Byrne saw in a lot of the tabloid rags at the supermarket, essentially looking at outlandish stories and then sort of coming up with his own take on that. And this is the booklet, the little bit of media that comes with it, which is sort of it's a little mock tabloid rag, and it's just a film that absolutely deserves to be seen, because it is just really like none other. David Byrne is such a phenomenal talent, and a very interesting man as well. He's got a great book out there called The Bicycle Diaries, which is basically about when he travels, he brings his little portable bicycle, his little fold-up bike, and no matter where he is in the world, he'll just pull that sucker out and just start pedaling through the cities that he's in. And it's a really interesting take on his life and sort of how he looks at things. But the movie itself, again, as this indicates here, hey, this place is completely normal. It really is a wonderful little slice of odd Americana. And I just wanted to throw in here as a bonus, because I'm in sort of a David Byrne mood, I recommend for those of you who are Talking Heads fans to absolutely also check out the wonderful concert film by Jonathan Demme, called Stop Making Sense. It's interesting. I was always a fan of this concert film. I think it's one of the best that's ever been made. Jonathan Demme, who of course directed Silence of the Lambs and Philadelphia, among others, he did this film, and it's just it makes you feel like you're right there. And God, it would have been just a wonderful concert to have seen live. And I believe this disc basically takes the best of a couple of nights of his performance in LA when it was filmed. And it's just a wonderful depiction of the energy that David Byrne and Talking Heads brings. And I believe there's also a little surprise performance in there in the middle by none other than the Tom Tom Club, some of the members of his band that spun off and had their own group. They do a few numbers in there as well. It's a nice little bonus. But again, if you're in the mood for some eclectic, odd entertainment, look no further than David Byrne and his wonderful True Stories, and then of course the concert film he made. And just as an aside, for those of you who are familiar with Byrne's work, of course he recently released this Spike Lee directed American Utopia, which in many ways is sort of a sequel to Stop Making Sense and is quite good in its own right. But there you have it. I've been reveling in a lot of the darker stuff on my shelf of late, and I wanted to lighten the mood a little bit with some of David Byrne's offerings. So with that, have a great week, everyone. Take care, and until the next time.